Thank you guys for coming back to another episode of Cobra TV, and today we're going to talk about planet sizes. Sean Murray's longtime quote of life-size planets and Earth-size planets. And I think that quote and what we've been shown has caused a lot of questions for some people. And as far as I'm concerned, if Sean Murray and Hello Games are saying that planets in No Man's Sky are life-size planets, Earth-size planets, I'm definitely going to take their word for it, and I'm going to back that up in just a little bit. This isn't going to be a very long video, but just to shed some light on the topic here. I've seen comments here and there stating that the planets in No Man's Sky are not life-size planets. You could tell just based upon, what they look like and the features on the planet from when he travels into the planet. I've even seen people try to slow down video to try and compare the landmarks versus being on the ground before, and I have to say that this is not a very good method to know if the planets in No Man's Sky are Earth-size or life-size planets, and I'm going to tell you why. I've even seen articles people have written trying to determine landmarks and things like that to determine how many feet that Sean Murray has traveled to kind of determine how big the actual planet is by using math. Again, from what we had at the time, this was pretty good, but it still does not determine how big the planets are in No Man's Sky, and I'm going to tell you why. Let's go ahead and state the obvious before we start getting to a little bit of facts. Hello Games has never said that every planet in No Man's Sky is going to be the same default size as each other. Also, keep in mind, everything we've been seeing ever since VGX 2013 has been an unfinished game. Sean Murray said several times that they bring a demo build with them to the events to show off the game. And sometimes they got things turned up and turned down or turned off or turned on to show examples or to hide things. So let's go ahead and get into what we have now as fact. And I think the biggest thing to look at here is terminology. And that terminology is planet versus moon, saying the word planet when you actually mean the word moon. We know that IGN just released a tour of 5 planets, a brand new one from the one they did the last time. But there's one problem with the tour of 5 planets. In both videos, the 21-minute gameplay with IGN and the playthrough with Anthony from PlayStation, both were in the same exact star system. And that star system only had 2 planets. But in both videos, the 21 minutes with IGN and the gameplay with Anthony from PlayStation, Sean Murray calls Yavil moon.
And this is a moon of the planet that we're just on.
But yet IGN comes out with a tour of 5 planets.
Yavil is temperate and lush, an ocean planet with bright red trees and clear blue water flush with life. It's one of the prettiest No Man's Sky planets we've seen so far.
But when we're looking at something like Yavil, kind of causes confusion for people, because now they're going to look at something like Yavil, they're going to try and point out an island in reference to the size of the planet and how long it would take you to swim across where that point is right there on the screen to the next island. And then the next thing you know, people are going to be making posts about how Yavil's a very small planet, when in fact, IGN was told that it was a moon. So I think it's terminology that we need to understand here. Now that we know that only has 2 actual planets orbiting its star, moons are generally smaller than its planet. And if we step back and we take a look at Bellari 5, now keep in mind we are almost 78,000 kilometers away from Yavil, and you can make out its islands. And then we cut to Bellari 5 in several different pictures here. And what I've noticed about Bellari 5, it is so big that you literally cannot see too many features on the planet. And we know that there are features on that planet. And we get a good sense of scale of Bellari 5 when he goes and looks out the window of the space station and he looks down. And again, it looks featureless because it is so large. It's one of the biggest planets we have seen so far. And he equates the playing area that they were in to the small dot on the screen. Bellari 5 is indeed one of the largest planets we have seen so far in No Man's Sky, and for it to be that featureless and that dot to represent the playing area and being so close to that planet shows its sheer size. And going back and looking at Yavil and being so far away, but being able to make out the islands, such as some of the planets we've seen in the past, shows just how small that moon is. But with the confusion of IGN making a video saying a tour of 5 planets in a star system that only has 2 planets in orbit does create quite a bit of confusion. One of the things that we have to keep in mind is they created an entire universe procedurally, as big as they wanted it to be. So one can only guess that Hello Games could probably procedurally generate a planet as big as they wanted it to be, because they're using the power of procedural generation. So the point is, don't worry. The planets are big. Even the ones that people are saying are small, they're bigger than your typical map in any game anyway. Anyways, I hope this helps, guys. As always, I love you. Thank you so much for coming by. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until next time.